Portland, Oregon's dumpster fire of a commercial real estate market continues as the PAC West Center, the second largest building in Portland, sells for $55.7 million to an out-of-state buyer. It's the second line in the article that gets me. The price, though, low by historical standards, wasn't brutally low like the one for Big Pink in July. The dumpster fire continues. Let's get into it. Here we go. Again, we're going to start off with Anthony Effinger from Willamette Week. Somebody's doing a good job writing stuff. I'm going to call him out and say, hey, that's why I'm reading your stuff. This is well done. It wasn't brutally low like the one for Big Pink. So it was low. This one's low. Everything selling in Portland right now is low. Anything selling in Seattle is low. And it's low because your street conditions are terrible. There isn't the demand for commercial properties. We did that whole work from home thing. People still have to live in homes. Even that market's been terrible since interest rates went up. But businesses don't have to have commercial space, right? They've realized, oh, we can work remotely. We can save a lot of money. So therefore, if you have a downtown commercial market that has a bunch of homeless people, a bunch of whacked out drug addicts, combination of the two, people vandalizing, empty storefronts damn near everywhere, like Portland, Oregon does, tends to have an impact on more than just surface street conditions that you can see. Billions and billions and billions of dollars of tax-based revenue are being lost. They're literally gone. And when I say lost, I don't mean like you lost your dog. It means they're, yeah. What was once there? Not so much anymore. Let's read about this sale. Another downtown office building sold this week and at a better price per square foot. Let's look at the bright side than what the U.S. Bancorp Tower Big Pink fetched for at its fire sale in July. Man, that was a deal. 1.2 million square feet for $45 million. Second largest building in Portland. Now, it needed some updating. It was a diamond in the rough. It needed update. I mean, it needed an overhaul. And this one's had, I think this one's literally had 44 million of updating. But PAC West Center, an aluminum-clad 30-story tower at Southwest 5th Avenue and Madison Street. Let's take a quick look. I know you don't care, but I do because I want to show you. So here's the PAC West Center. This is the PAC West Center. Here's the three parks that I covered during the Summer of Love. This is where Antifa was just banging on the Federal Building and the Justice Building night after night after night. PAC West Center, literally diagonal, one city block walk. And then in my last visit, when I went down to cover the Portland ICE facility, just the whole nonsense with Antifa there. This is that market, Pete's on 4th, that is just an absolute meth head, fentanyl abuser, utopia of a mini mart. I'm so glad I went there in the middle of the night because I got to kind of see, this is what's going on out here. You got two different kinds of people in Portland late at night. On a Friday, as you're covering, ICE protests, you got security guards and you got whacked out homeless people on drugs. That's who you've got. No real police. No police. They're monkeying around doing something else. I don't know what they're doing. Portland police, guys need to get your game plan together because it ain't working right now, especially that whole thing with the ICE. You guys are saying that the feds are responsible for the violence that's happening? Give me a break. You guys are nuts, but whatever. It's Portland, right? Hey, man, let's keep it, let's keep it weird. So the PAC West Center sold for $55.7 million, $102 a square foot. U.S. Bancorp Big Pink sold for $45 million, $40 a square foot because it's so much bigger and it sold for less. Math. The math is mathing, right? PAC West buyer is Fountainhead Development based in Fairbanks, Alaska. And the previous owner was a limited liability LLC, Lincoln Property out of Dallas. And they paid $161.5 million for the PAC West building in 2007. And Okay, we got a bunch of just nonsense about, let's listen to the just bullshit on this building. This is such commercial real estate nonsense. With its transit-oriented location, market-leading amenity package, it's been updated, and premium view space. Oh, you can see the river. Hey, we can see the homeless down below. That's epic. All right. Drug deal just happened. That's great. The buyer recognized the tower's ability to cater to both traditional and creative tenant requirements. This location with enduring demand drivers. In a location with enduring demand drivers. Well, it's sort of, kind of. If there is such a thing, and downtown Portland right now. Unlike Big Pink, the PAC West Tower has been renovated recently. Lincoln entity spent $44 million to buff it up. Like buffing. We'd like to buff off some of the homeless urine and excrement from the main floor. And it's all good. It's fine, folks. It's all good. Another couple of really good details in this article here. There were multiple rounds, so they had a bidding war on this bad boy. LinkedIn post, Newmark Vice Chairman Nick Kucha revealed that there were multiple rounds of competitive bidding. So you got a price war going on. I found that interesting because this thing is, I think, half leased out. It's been renovated, meaning you've got some space that is up and ready, good to go. It is out the door. Whereas anybody coming in and buying Big Pink, you're going to have to do some major renovations. You're not going to be able to lease out some of that space as is today. And that's why so many folks have left that building, just because it's the structure itself, it's got good bones. Let's go with that. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. The winning bid, though, on the PAC West building went to a new to market capital source. Why do we got to throw so many words in these things? It's new to market capital source. It's a new buyer. It's a new buyer to this market that closed right in the contract price. Okay, good. PAC West exemplifies resilience. We just read that. Complete nonsense. Newmark noted that the Tokyo-based Mitsubishi Estate Company initially developed the building in 1984, renovated in 2019. Most commonly used as office space, although the real estate firm noted that just 50% of the site has been leased out. So we've got great upside potential here. We've got amazing upside potential. Now, these sales that we are seeing happen right now in the Portland marketplace, these are, and it's not just Portland, but Portland has been, I think Portland is the most decimated of any major North American market because it had the combination of work from home happen and then just basically the summer of love happened and the whole homeless thing. Portland decriminalized hard drugs and then quickly realized maybe that wasn't such a good call. They've basically handed out everything but the drugs to their homeless community for years. Build it and they will come. And there's such an infrastructure in Portland that they don't know what to do. And with typical progressive leadership that won't really drop the hammer on the communities that are destroying street conditions, when you won't drop the hammer on that community, meaning, hey, you want to get housing? That's fine. We need you to get sober. Housing, sober, right? Do that. Kind of like San Francisco has done with Proposition, what F is it? Hey, if you want benefits, you need to give us a clean UA. Get you off the hooch, right? And so you need to be able to put people into treatment. You need to be able to put people involuntarily into treatment, involuntarily into psych wards, for lack of a better word, in the event that they are not able to make any decisions on their own. But the progressive nature of Portland, Oregon will not allow that. So until they kind of work their way around, okay, how do we make this happen without giving up our progressive values that are just destroying the city? What are we going to do? Yeah, and that's where they sit right now. Because with the kind of leadership that you end up with in Portland, it's not a shocker that this stuff just goes wildly sideways, that reality goes wildly sideways, because you got a weak criminal justice system, In so many of these big blue cities, you've got weak leadership that just wants to tax the F out of the constituents because the constituents want a whole bunch of ridiculous nonsense that you don't really need. Hey, let's spend billions of dollars in the criminal illegals, and then when the budget doesn't work out, we'll just, Governor Greg Abbott sent us too many criminals, and now we don't know what to do. Yeah, we've seen that playbook in so many of these big cities. Is they said, oh, yeah, we'll take the criminals. We'll take the criminal illegals. We'll take them all day long. And then Abbott started just, okay, here you go, busload after busload after busload. Let's not forget Ron DeSantis out of Florida. He did the same thing. And then all of a sudden they went, oh, we can't take them. This doesn't work. Our budget is destroyed. We spent billions. Chicago being the one city there. Where let's go, Brandon Johnson. That guy is just a moron. I mean, he is just that guy. That guy can't think his way out of a wet paper bag, right? Where am I? What am I doing? Oh. No, that guy is hopeless. But that's what Chicago wants, is a hopeless leader that maybe gives them some free bennies, just like we're going to get in a socialist leader here in Seattle. Portland, not far behind. I mean, all of these progressive cities are sitting in the after effects of years and years and years and years of terrible decision making. Defund the police being a big one. How'd that work out for you? Hey, decriminalizing drugs. How's that working, Portland? What do you got going there? Is that good? Is it good? What was the sales price of Big Pink again? Yeah. Disastrous, but not terrible, right? Right? You're just left with, okay, that's really low. That's really low. And what happens here and why I hammer on these building purchases so hard is because this is the actual deal. Portland City Council gets a lesson in tax compression courtesy of Big Pink. Now, what has happened is Oregon's got a handful of ways that they handle, rapidly rising values. And they've had a couple of propositions which kind of limit the ability for homes or properties to go up much in value. But now they've got a point where property values are dropping so much less than where the assessed values have been that actual tax revenues are going to drop. I mean, pretty shockingly. And the only thing that is saving most big progressive cities is that residential has not dropped. Because in Portland, I think the residential properties constitute about 60% of their revenue. So, and a bunch of revenue comes in from businesses, a bunch of revenue comes in from commercial, typically the downtown core. So, the fact that Big Pink is selling at a massive discount, literally, Portland City Council said, hey, we got millions of dollars less in tax revenue now than we had not that many years ago. So the assessor department, lead assessor and second assessor came in and gave basically a tax lesson on what happens when property values deteriorate basically in a straight line down, because that's what's happened in Oregon. And then how does that correspond to tax revenue? The summation is that it goes down. You have less. So you're going to have less tax revenue in all of these big, blue, progressive, liberal cities, because who wants to buy a building in the middle of a mess? People don't. They just don't. You want to bring your business here? You want to take out a nice lease on some Class A commercial space and then have your potential new clients walk in the building and go, good Lord, what's the deal with Portland? Did you see that lunatic down on the street? No shirt on, shooting up drugs, just screaming at the trees. I mean, he was fighting an imaginary dragon with his sword. Try and convince businesses that they want to lease in an environment like that. Doesn't happen. And instead, what you've got in Portland is you've got a governor and you've got a mayor, you've got a city council, you've even got the police department on board with, it's their fault. It's the Fed's fault. It's somebody other than our own decision-making fault. Because if they had to take responsibility, then they'd have to take responsibility for the reason that you're getting a tax lesson in tax compression, meaning there's less to tax, compressed, is terrible policies, terrible, awful policies. Because even though you are seeing areas of Republican-run cities cored out, and by that, I mean, you've got major vacancy factors as well. Even though you're seeing that, you are not seeing the enormous drop in values like you do in cities like Seattle and Portland that have let their street conditions just basically go. Los Angeles is a different animal because it's so big and it's downtown. It's kind of like, are we in downtown or are we just in some kind of mixed use area? It's hard to tell, right? It's like, okay, there's a couple of buildings, but yeah, okay, right. So in the big, progressive cities, they are literally living the after effects, the current effects of policy that has put them where they are, and they have nobody to blame but themselves. So they'll blame Trump. They'll blame market conditions. Well, we had that whole work from home. They'll blame COVID. They'll blame lack of federal funds still coming in. They'll blame a whole plethora of things. But what you can't get away from is the fact that, like at the very beginning of our story, the price, though low by historical standards, wasn't brutally low. Their properties are selling for brutally low price points because of progressive ideology and its impacts on the marketplace. It's just not that hard to figure out, right? It's not that hard to figure out. And businesses, they don't want to have office space near a whacked out homeless dude shooting up a bunch of meth with no shirt on, screaming at the clouds, covered in human feces with a sword. That's not their idea of stability. Businesses need stable. Hey, I'm going to walk into this complex. It's going to be good. It's going to be the security guard there. They're going to be the person over there at the kiosk answering my questions. Elevators look nice. They don't have human feces in them like Westfield Center Mall down in LA or San Francisco. Sorry. It's all looking good. Okay. There's no whacked out homeless nut jobs inside here. Yeah, things are... You want that. You take space down in that. Not, good Lord, what's going on here? Like this. All right. That's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. Love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.